morning, Big Brother fans. It is Monday, September 8th, day 63. And I'm going to tell you right now, these last couple weeks are going to be a grind. Because the last 3 or 4 days have been a grind. I know I said it on Saturday in my last podcast that these twists, this weird time that they've done this is like the fourth year in a row, I think, that they've done something along these lines. They talked about the zombie week, um, then Fry Fest, and last year's Janky World. They've all taken the wind out of the sails of the season. It's just something about that time where they do something weird, and it's I don't know. Some people I've seen argue that it shouldn't have been this dropped off this quickly when you've gone down to 8. You still have 8 in the house, and yet the mood has changed so much. But it has, and even more so, I suppose, with Rachel, because she was such a big character in this house. And so there's a combination of people just not wanting to do anything. There's people talking about Rachel. There's people talking about the unjustness of this twist. And for those of you that may not have listened to Saturdays and are just starting out on a Monday, let's give a mini recap. And I still don't even have all the events straight. They're a bit better known out there, to be honest, but my brain can't wrap itself around it. It'll be shown on tomorrow night's show. They somehow determined that Ava was the first person in this chain of events, and she got to pick the next person to try this maze, which again they're comparing to the hamster wheel in reindeer games, but it may not have been exactly like that, but it was a ball in a maze, and they had to compete it within a certain amount of time, and the amount of time was reduced for the next person every round. And I guess that the first person not to compete it within their allotted time was eliminated. And that was it. There wasn't, if you didn't compete, if you didn't get to compete, you were okay. It's only if you competed and didn't complete it. Okay? And I'm sorry if I've explained this already, but I'm still talking it out myself to make sure I understand it. And as it happened, of those that got to compete, Lauren completed it in the quickest amount of time. Whereas, if it's to be understood and believed, both Morgan and Vinny didn't complete it as quick as they could have. They intentionally threw the competition, but kept themselves as a candidate, per se. Let's say they got it all the way to the end of the maze with like a minute to spare, but then they just stood there and waited until right before the end of the time, and then clicked it over. And that way, they were not eliminated, but they also were not going to be head of household because they didn't want to be. So, and in the end, it sounds like Rachel wasn't able to compete in the time slot that she was given because the time was reduced by, say, 30 seconds between each person. And so it got to Rachel, and she just wasn't able to complete it. And it's possible that her time was 2 minutes and 30 seconds because I did hear people saying that they couldn't have completed it in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So that may be the time that Rachel was given and was unable to complete it. And so instead of being nominated for eviction, she was just out. And that would have been one possible way to do this twist, even though we don't quite understand it, would have been the way that a safety chain has worked in the past, or could work, is that if you're the last two people picked, you're the two that are nominated, right? And then you vote between those two. At least you bring it down to a vote. And this is part of the biggest sticking point with a lot of the House guests and I think a lot of the people online is that the social part of this was completely thrown out the window, or almost completely thrown out the window, in that you were eliminated by a competition instead of by a vote, and so you couldn't use your social. Oh, I can't think of the term. You couldn't use your all of the social wealth. It's not wealth. I can't think of the word that you built up to keep yourself in the House, right? All right, so that's what me recounting it, and it'll be shown on tomorrow night's show because it was not a show last night. So we've just been dancing along with Morgan, Ashley, and Will nominated. They did the comics Power Veto competition on Saturday. Oh, I guess I haven't talked to you since then. There you go. So that competition had started on Saturday. The comics power. Well, we didn't know it was the BB Comics. It was the BB Comics PoV competition, and Morgan won it. So Morgan has the power veto. She's going to use it to save herself. And the likely renom, very likely renom, is Keanu. Lauren is going to put Keanu up, pretty sure. Vinny would like to see, I think, either Ava or Kelly go up. He doesn't want Keanu to go up. I think Vinny still sees Keanu as an ally, although I think Keanu is pushing for Vinny to go up. So there's really weird cross alliances and relationships. It's kind of like everything's been torn down, and so it's kind of hard to get a grip on what is happening. If Keanu is up on the block, he may get voted out. Although in the competition, the BB competition, the BB Comics competition, remember that's the one where they hang on a zip line, go across an open window or an open view, and they see various comics, and they have to go and pick out the difference between two almost identical comics. And there's a comic for every house guest. I'm not going over the comics. They've talked about them. I'm just not. I don't care. We'll see them on Tuesday's show, and then they'll release the actual comics on like Wednesday, the actual images. So yeah, whatever. They did the comics, and when they go across the zip line, then they drop down, then they match them up, and they punch the button if they're matched or not. If they don't, they have to go and look again, etc., etc. And during that, I'm assuming when they're dropping off the zip line, that Will dropped a bit awkwardly and hurt his leg. And so he's been limping a lot. And the talk is, the BBBB, the Big Brother Blockbuster competition, has generally had some physical aspect in it, even if it's just going, I guess the one where they were going back and forth and looking at the two different rooms, that wasn't extremely physical, but everything else has been a little bit of running around doing stuff, and Will is really hobbled, and so he's pretty sure he's not going to win the BB Blockbuster competition. Meanwhile, Ashley doesn't think she can beat Keanu, and she thinks if it comes down to her and Will, that people will vote her out. So she seems convinced, or at least in the house, she's talking like she's convinced that she's going to get voted out on Thursday night. Will has talked about just going out, just like being done, because he doesn't think he can compete. But I don't think Will will quit. He may have just been one time that he said that, so don't quote me on that. But that's the status, right? So we have to see what Lauren does in the Power Veto meeting today. I am 99% sure that she's going to put up Keanu. Vincent's pleas and with her to not put up Keanu are falling on mostly deaf ears, um, which is kind of amazing for Lauren. But she's kind of seen the light, and she knows, well, I should just, I think she realizes that Vincent doesn't have her, especially with a lot of prodding from Kelly. Oh, yeah, he wants, yeah, Kelly. Kelly's the one that Vincent's been trying to go after. Vincent's been trying to go after Kelly. Meanwhile, Kelly is anti-Vince, and so Lauren's dealing with these two opposing forces, and Kelly wants. Um, I think Kelly wants Lauren to put up Vincent as well, but I don't think she's going. I think she's going to put up Keanu. So I'll let you know tomorrow what's happened. But again, the wind has been taken out of the sails of the season. It really has. With Rachel, people are very upset because they feel like she didn't really get a fair shake when she got taken out, and so it's just been kind of like eh. Um, the one other thing or a couple other things to talk about, just other reality shows. So being as it's been kind of quiet and slow, I have watched the first 4 episodes of Traitors Ireland. So Traitors Ireland has kicked off, and it's airing. I don't know how many episodes there are. Let's assume there's maybe 12, maybe 10. They've been putting them out in 3 episodes a week, Monday or Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So episode 4 came out yesterday, and I watched it. And there's also an Uncloaked show, which is the Traitors After show. That's what it's called in the UK, and on the BBC version, and now the Irish version has the same name, different host. I haven't watched many of those. It's just people talking about the show. So it's like a 20 half-hour show. It's good. I'm enjoying it. It's got a lot going on. 4 episodes in, and there's some major brouhaha going on among the traders. So it's been interesting to watch, and I won't spoil it for anyone that plans to watch it or wants to watch it. I have posted on Blue Sky a link to a website where you can go to watch it. Not quite necessarily same day, but right now the first 4 episodes are there. Links to watch them are there. So check out my Blue Sky. I can't give you the URL because I don't know the URL, but it's I've posted it there. So all you gotta do is go to Blue Sky and look me up, and you can find the website. So that's something you can watch. Also coming soon is Big Brother UK kicks off near the end of this month. So the second season of the rebooted Big Brother UK will kick off at the end of this month. They've done a couple celebrity versions, but they've done one regular version. So this will be the second regular version. See how that goes. I will be watching that as a fan, not as a quote reporter or someone who talks about what's going on per se. And then finally, Big Brother Australia, which is bringing back live feeds apparently, and live evictions or live votes or live nominations. Actually, that's it, live nominations. That is, they've closed, I think, the casting window on that. So it's not that it's coming anytime in the near future, but it is coming sometime down the road, and they've closed the casting window, and they've had lots of people apply. So there's that. That will be airing I think early next year maybe, but that's a ways down the road. All right, so there you go. That's what's up. And hey, I managed to talk for almost 15 minutes. This is another reason why I don't pay for Spreaker past the normal window, because I can't talk for more than 15 minutes once the show slows down. And the show has slowed down. So there you go. Thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. Shout out to all my patrons who I really, really appreciate. And I need to give you guys at least one more big personal shout out. If you would still like to be a patron, you can do it. It's just a monthly thing. You can sign up for a month and then cancel if you want, or you can or not. That's okay, cool. That's good too. We're okay. Um, but thank you to all of you. No matter what you do, I appreciate it. Have a good um, Monday, if there is such a thing, and I will talk to you guys on Tuesday with an update. Hopefully, maybe something's gone on. Well, we'll at least have a power veto meeting to talk about. But I don't think it's going to be as fiery as the last one for sure, right? That's where Ashley went up and all heck broke loose. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye.